Beautiful day. Huh? Everybody survived the storm all right? We're all good?
Yeah.
We're here, right? Some people might not have done okay in that storm. We know some people that are up north, so that's probably why they're not here today. So let's open prayer. Heavenly Father, I just come to you with the understanding of agape love, Lord. That's what we're going to work on today. Thank you for that, Lord. Find the devil for being here today during the sermon. Let us etch this on our hearts as we travel today, Lord, that we use this in all aspects of our life today, Lord. Lift us up in Jesus' precious name, amen. All right, we're going to be going to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. It's pretty simple. It only has 13 verses. So that's a short chapter. As I went down to Baltimore, we were down here and we were discussing agape love. What do we know about love? Where did we learn about love? How do we show people that we love, right? God says that you will know them by the way they love one another, right? In this chapter, Paul is teaching the Corinthian church that they were chasing the wrong idea. They chased the gifts from God. They would see someone that had a gift and they'd want that, they'd want that, they'd want that. So they would chase the gift. And what they were worshiping the ability that someone had to have a gift, right? And they wanted that. That started them arguing. It started them chasing down a sinful path. It made them go places they shouldn't have been going. Because they left out one important thing. Love. Right? True love is self-giving love. It's totally about giving, not about receiving. You can kill joy. If you had joy, my joy has been taken away from me by something in life. My joy is gone. I got some wisdom. It could be taken away by a scene on TV, a radio station, someone talking takes away my wisdom. Well, I thought I really understood that. But now that you explain it that way, not godly, just the way that man explains it, it's taken away. Forgiveness. I forgive you. I'll never forget, but I forgive. Right? That's not forgiveness. That can be killed. Peace. I have peace in my heart. That can be killed at any given moment. Love cannot be killed. You can't do it. Nothing can kill love. You can refuse to use it, but you can't kill it. Jesus was love. And they say they killed Jesus on the cross, but they didn't kill Jesus on the cross. He gave up his spirit. You can't kill love. In Luke 23:46, then Jesus called out in a loud voice, said to Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. And having said this, he breathed his last breath. They couldn't kill him. We wouldn't have survived the beating that he got when they whipped him. As men, we would have died. That would have killed us. So many times along the way as men, we would have died carrying that cross. Yet he survived through all that. In the flesh of man, with the Spirit of God. For love. For love, he went through that entire day. In John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. He loved the world so much that he gave his child for us. How much do we love? What are we willing to sacrifice for the love of ourselves, someone else, our children? What are you willing to sacrifice for God? Would you give up anger? Would you give up rage? Would you give up self-righteousness? They shouldn't do that to me. Don't they know who I am? I don't deserve that. Would you give that up for Christ? If he said, give that up. Just love them. What do you mean love them? They did stuff to me they shouldn't have done. as he was being nailed on the cross, he said, forgive them. Do we forgive? We struggle with that. We struggle with that daily. Would you give up your life for Christ? Would you give up your child? In Genesis 22:10, then Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his child Isaac. Would I do that? And by the way, the child knew he was going to be sacrificed. On the way up the hill, he says, come on, Dad, where's the goat? And then it came upon him that he knew that he was the sacrifice. And he went willingly. Will you sacrifice yourself for God today? And now the love of Christ covers all of that. It covers anything that we could possibly think of. So as we read here, do we live by God, our relationship, and then our children? Or do we live by children, our relationship, and then God? Because God put it in play. This is the way that He'd like us to have it. It's Him first. Seek me first. Always, with everything. My child's in trouble. God, help him. My relationship's in trouble. God, help us. Where do I seek my counsel? Do I go to God in prayer first? Or do I run to the world? Do I run to the guys down the barber shop or the bar? Do I go someplace other than the counsel of Christ to get my information? Are you more important to yourself than to God? Me first. My stuff first. I'm going to first. God can take second to that. I do it. You know I do it. We all do it. Seek me first. Right? Verse 1. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am noisily gonging and or a clamoring cymbal. I'm just making noise if there's no love in it. Right? And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, I have all faith, so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. I have nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body, if I'm willing to be sacrificed, but have not love, I gain nothing. Right? Love is so important in our lives that we really don't understand it. If you ask a child, do you love me? They say, yeah, I love you. And then you say, yeah, but I love you more. And they say, no, I love you this much. I love you this much. Do you love God that much first? Or do you love the child this much and God this much? Right? Love isn't saying I love you. Love is your actions. Putting your actions where your mouth is. Right? When you stand up on the street and you say, I'm going to do this, and you're going to be accountable to these fellas that are standing in front of you, you can be sure your words better match your actions. But you don't with God. You don't with His love. To walk that walk, to be beaten the way He was beaten, for us, we forget. His love covers us. What is love? Verse 4. Love is patient and kind. No matter what you do to me, if I be patient and kind, if you want to kick in my teeth and I be patient and kind, you can't kill that. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. I'm arrogant, rude, and what? I never realized until I really started studying love. Right? I use it as a joke. I say to Trish, what did you move that stuff for? That's arrogant, rude. There's no love in that conversation. Just a simple thing like that. Hey, honey, where'd you put my stuff? What'd you move my stuff for? It's all in my attitude. It's all in how I look at things, how I present myself. It does not insist on its own way. Don't you ever move my stuff. That's my no way. Well, I need this counter clear. I don't care. There's no love in that conversation. It's demanding, it's arrogant, it's prideful. It is not irritable or resentful. What did you do that for? Have conversations with people like that? Did you see that guy? You know what he did? There's no love in that. That's a defeatist attitude. Christ doesn't look at us like that. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Awesome, thank you. I forgive you. Just like we ask him, Lord, forgive me. He says, you forgive me. Awesome, we move on. Love bears all things. Bears all things. Believes all things. Hopes all things. Endures all things. He says, live like a child, right? A child does all that because he doesn't have all the garbage from life in his mind, right? When you say, do you love me? He says, yeah, I love you this much. Because he didn't get kicked in the teeth yet. Because he doesn't have the responses of living out in that world where heartache and pain came from. Yeah, I love you this much. Right? Love of a dog. Man, you can do a lot to a dog before he'll return. Right? You love God that much? He loves you. Paul, this is who's writing this, Paul. He's learning about love. This is a guy who came to your house and dragged you out and lopped your head off for not following his way of belief of the Old Testament. That was his love. That's what he knew. Drag you out and kill you. Beat you senseless. Your wife, your kids, your dog, he's killing everybody. Because you interrupted his belief of what the Bible was telling him to do. And then he's converted. And he says, do you know about love? What do you know about love? Verse 8, love never ends. Christ doesn't end. He's in eternity. And we're going there. And what are we going to get in eternity? Love. Peace. No sickness, no rust. Nothing gets destroyed. Just love. If you can offer just love, one day, just offer love. Answer everything with love. Love and respect. Man, watch how your day changes. Watch the attack that'll come at you. People will cut you off. The devil's going to try to get you set up so that he can run to God and say, see, he still doesn't understand your love. Someone whom you don't want to forgive will be placed in your path just to disrupt that love. Will you love them up? In Luke 22, 33, 34, Peter says, I will go to prison or death with you. And Christ says, nah, you're going to deny me 3 times today. How many times do you deny me? It's simple. When we go to anger and rage instead of love and compassion, we deny Christ. That's what his sacrifice meant on that cross. For our love. Man, if I could just love a little bit of that. If I could show a little bit of that, my life changes. Somebody yelled at me the other day. Really? Did you thank him? What would that do for that person if he said, oh, awesome, I love you? Right? Big friend used to call me up. I didn't even, out of nowhere. Anybody tell you they love you today? Wow. Anybody tell you mean it? It's your actions that does it. It's not the words out of your mouth. I love you. What'd you go do that for? Love just left. What was that? That was words out of my mouth. The yelling was out of my heart. The love was out of my mouth. God looks at the heart. He watches my actions. Are they fulfilling what I say I am and who I want to be? Is he first? Just got an offer to go swimming. Got church instead. I'd rather be swimming. I love this. I love this because God loves me. Because the only reason why I'm here is because he loved me. And when I said I will go to the death with you, he said you will deny me. I said, no way! And I do. As soon as that person cuts me off. As soon as my wife moves something in the house, that love has left the building. As soon as someone doesn't return the love that I give to them, they're not worthy of my love anymore. Society says, kick them out. Don't keep them in your house. They're no good. Your husbands, your wives, your daughters, your sons, because they stole something of yours, because they're doing drugs, because they lied to you. Get them out of there. Christ never says that. This is one's missing out of the 99. Go get them. Not only go get them and put them on your shoulders and carry them back. You have a tendency to say, you don't want any part of this. That's not love. Agape love is so strong, so beautiful. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I responded like a child. Man, I wish I could go there. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. The world got in there instead. The things that were done to me became the answers that I gave people. Those were the reactions that I gave them. The actions that they gave me as a man, I gave them back tenfold. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in the part that I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. What do people remember about me? How angry I was? How I stopped everything for the love of God. Did I stop on a dime and turn myself around because I believed that God wanted me to go down this path rather than that path? Or did I go fill my own self-righteousness? So now faith, hope, and love abide. These three, right? Three together. Faith, hope, love. You can have all the faith and hope in the world, but if you don't have love, they're going to fail. Because the love comes from Christ. That's what I want to follow. That's the greatest. The object of faith and hope will be fulfilled and perfectly realized in heaven. But love, the godlike virtue, is everlasting. Heaven will be the place for the expression and nothing but perfect love toward God and each other. That's what we're going to. Can we look at it here? Can it be part of our lives here? How do I learn to do this? How do I make this a daily path in my life? We have this little book here. This whole chapter, everything we just read pertains to love. How do I learn it? It tells you what it isn't, it tells you what it is. If I needed to learn how to cook a certain food, I would go get me a cookbook, I would read it, I'd get my hands out, I'd start preparing that food, chopping stuff up, I'd make myself that meal. Beautiful, I would have that meal. If I needed something to fix on my car, I'd go get the book, I'd read about that part, how to get it, where it costs, how to put it in, how to clean up afterwards, what's the process of it. I couldn't figure it out. I'd get a video, I'd watch that, I'd dive myself in. I would then hop in full body, get my hands filthy and dirty, my clothes and everything, and dive right in and fix that thing. What do I do, love? This right here. Stop disrespecting. Simple disrespectfulness, pride, righteousness to my wife. If I'm going to do it to her, I'm doing it to everybody else. Or if I'm doing it to her and not to everybody else, then I'm fake to her. Man, I learned a lot about agape love. Peter said, I will go to prison or death with you. And God knew it's not possible. Watch. There he is, yelling him. I don't know him. I don't know him. It shouldn't be that someone asks, were you with him? They should see the agape love in you being shared. You will know them by the way they love one another. By the way they love one another. Except for that one over there. You know, he's not going to love that. He's not welcome here. He has to do A, B, C, D in order to be part of this family. If you don't have a good job or an education, you can't live in my house. Here's the love. Should I be disrespected by somebody? I don't know. That cross had a lot of disrespect going on there. Society tells me not to let someone speak badly to me. The rituals of life tell me I shouldn't allow people to do certain things to me. Is that what God wants? Do I go and ask God what to do, or do I go check in with the local psychiatrist to find out what I should do? Does God send me to the psychiatrist? He might. He created them. He created the stuff that they need. Who do I follow? Who is my counsel? God first, relationship second, child third. Where does that sit? If I always go to God's counsel first and get prayer and counsel from Him, my life softens. I don't yell at my wife as much. I start not arguing with other people, and I fall in line with agape love, which can't be killed. I'd much rather have that. It's not so tiring. This can be very tiring. A guy's missing. He's been missing for a couple of hours. So his wife starts hunting around and tries to find him. She finds him up on a highway and he has a flat tire on his car. She said, well, why didn't you get to the spare in the trunk? Well, I didn't know how to do that. She said, well, in the back, if you lift up the trunk, you go inside, there's a place guide that tells you. Here's where you put the jack, here's the tire iron, you put them on the nuts, you twist them down. He says, yeah, but I didn't like those directions. So he stays stuck on the highway. Here's some directions. Here's a way of life that you can change your life, the people around you's life. You can change everything to come under Christ's guidance or be under self-righteousness. Whichever's working better for you. It's a project, it's a process, it's a way of life. The original Christians were not Christians. When Saul was chasing them around, he wasn't chasing Christians, he was chasing people that followed the way. What is the way? What do I want to follow? The way is Christ. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I want to learn that way. He's educating me to learn that way. Man, how much of a room changes when you just offer love up. You hear one person yell in a room, and the whole room goes, We know that's a problem. But when you're just hugging and loving them up, the children running around, beautiful. Love them up. They're children. He wants us to be childlike. Of course, he doesn't want us running around like wild kids sliding under the chairs. Probably if I slid on the chair, they'd have to call an ambulance anyway. You're going to do well. But be childlike towards him. Love him like Dad. Right? He loves me so much. He's brought me through so many things. And I still walk away. The instant I stop loving someone and change it to anger or rage, or rudeness, or arrogance, or pride, that's not God. And the devil wants me to live in that life. And that life sends me out to things that I don't want to do anymore. So I need to make that change. And I make the change by following these and making them actions and not words. Amen? Amen. Amen. Heavenly Father, I come to you today, Lord, to help me etch those in my heart and make them actions and not words, Lord. We know you love us. We know you gave up your Son for us. Would we give up ours for you? Will we hand ours over to you, Lord? Will we say, they're all yours? Let us know the outcome. Let us know what you'd like us to do. You want us to bring them up to the top of the mountain and sacrifice them? We will for you. That's what you've done for us, as Abraham did with Isaac. Lord, we love you. Thank you. And if there's anybody here that doesn't know that love or understand that love, or has never accepted Christ into their heart, whether you be on YouTube or at home watching on the TV, or here today, say a little prayer with me. You don't have to say it out loud. You can say it quietly in your own heart. Just receive him and accept it. Become his love. Just repeat after me, quietly. You don't even have to say it out loud. Dear Jesus, I know you're the Son of God. Forgive me. Come into my heart and live. I want to know you. And if you've said that prayer for the first time and it's something that you want to express to us that you've said it, reach out and tell someone. If you'd like to, send us a letter down here at 781 Union Ave in Laconia. We'd love to hear from you. We love you. Christ loves you. We want to love you so that they know that you're part of us, Lord. In Jesus' precious name, amen.